Good morning, everyone. My name is Nini from NYHA, and in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to build the new NYHA Unibot released by NYHA this recently. Now, when you're watching this video, I assume that you're being guided with the help of the modules from our RoboFun curriculum. If that's not the case, that's completely fine. You can watch this video, and I will be teaching you how to put all of the NYHA Unibot attachments on the NYHA Unibot. If you're using the modules anyway, you can notice that with the steps I tried to do in this video will be matching what you're going to be seeing on your modules themselves, so you can use the video and the module simultaneously. To preface, I'm going to be flashing the timestamps on the screen just in case you need anything specific when you're watching this video, when you're watching later on and you just want to see a specific part and don't want to watch the entire thing. Right now, we are going to be starting with the chassis. Do you see all of those parts on the table? I'm going to introduce them to you one by one. This is the back part. This is the top of our robot. This is the bottom part of our robot. This is the caster wheel that we're going to be attaching to the bottom part later on. This is the faceplate of your robot. This is also the front of your robot. These are the sides of your robot. There's two of them, one for the left and one for the right. These interesting things, they're called brackets. That's how you're going to be connecting these parts together. They have two holes on each plate. These are the tools that you're going to be using to assemble your robot. This is the screwdriver and this is the T-wrench. Now, I'm going to introduce to you the screws themselves. Notice how in the NYHA Unibot kit, there's actually 4 sizes of screws. Do you see that? This is the long screw. We're going to be using this for the DC motors. This is the, slightly longer screw. We're going to be using this to attach the row board. This is the medium screw, or the default screw. We're going to be using this to attach most of the parts of our robot, especially the chassis. And this is the small screw. You'll only find 2 of them, and they're going to be used for the battery pack. This is the nut. It's going to be used to tighten the screws on your robot. I'd like you to set the screws aside, and when the NYHA Unibot kit comes to you, what you're gonna see is a pack with all of those screws. When you get this pack, I want you to take the medium-sized screw along with the nuts, because that's what we're going to be using when assembling the chassis. Now, let's set everything else aside first, and let's focus on the plates, the side plates. You'll notice that when you look closely at these plates, they actually have 2 sides. This is the one that goes outwards. This is the one that we see on the robot when it's moving. And this is the one that goes inwards. This goes inside of the robot, or to the inner area. What you're going to do is you're going to take a few screws and you're going to take 2 of these brackets. I want you to look very carefully at the orientation that I'm doing this. When you're looking at this bumpy, rough side of your side plate, you're going to get one of the brackets and you're going to align one of the holes like this. Do you see that? The hole that doesn't have a hole behind it should be going outwards. So when you put a screw on the other side, like so, and then tighten it with a nut. It should look like this. Right after that, you just screw it in. And that's the first step in putting brackets on the side plates of your robot. Next, you're going to take the other bracket, and you're pretty much going to do the same but for the other side. The right of the bracket goes to the hole behind it, and you secure that. Once that's done, you've successfully put brackets on one side of your robot. Well, one of the side plates, I mean. Now, pick up the other one. You'll notice that this time, it's actually inverted. The coarse side is now going to the other. Unlike this side, that's pointing towards the left. What you're going to do for this side is pretty much the same thing, except you're going to align the bracket to the left this time. You get a screw and you secure that. And then you will be doing the same thing for the other hole right here. Congratulations! You've successfully attached the brackets to both of your side plates. Let's move on to the next part. Grab the faceplate of your robot and grab two brackets. The orientation for this one is that the brackets are supposed to be going outward, like this. The hole is on there. See that? Right there. Secure that with a screw. And on the other side, since both brackets are supposed to be facing outward, that means that you're going to do the opposite direction, like this. There we go. Secure that with a screw. Now, we're done with attaching it on the faceplate. Let's set this aside. Let's now grab the bottom of our robot. Grab two brackets, and pretty much the same, two screws and two nuts. The orientation for this one is that the brackets are supposed to be going this way. They are supposed to be on the same level, or rather, like this, to these little ridges on the front, like that. So it's supposed to look like this. Or like this, rather. This is how you're going to attach the bracket. You put a screw over there. And then you do the same on the other side. Like this. And you've successfully attached the brackets to the bottom of your robot. We're now going to attach the bottom of the robot to the caster wheel. You're going to grab two medium length screws. Remember that the medium length screws are this long, and the normal screws are this long. See the difference? Hold on, I'll put it on my palm. There you go. This is the medium screw, this is the normal screw. You're gonna need 2 medium screws. And then 2 nuts. What you are going to do now is you're going to take the caster wheel and you're gonna put it on top like this. You see these 2 like pipe hole things? You're gonna align that with the holes on the caster wheel, and when you flip it over, you are going to put the 2 screws in. Then you tighten it with the nuts. Now you've successfully finished the bottom of your robot. Let's set this aside. Now, let's attach the back part of your Unibot, or put brackets on it rather. By this time, you should have only 2 brackets left in your 8. Just like that, grab 2 pairs of screws and bolts of normal size or default size and follow the orientation that I'm going to do right now. This is supposed to be going downwards. So you see that? Flip it over. And you take a bracket, and the hole is supposed to be going inwards, like so. You secure that with a screw. And because I said inwards, we're going to do it on the other side as well, but inverted, like this. And you've successfully attached the brackets to the back part of your robot. Congratulations! All the other parts of the chassis now have, well, brackets on them. So grab everything you just finished and put them back on the table. We're now going to grab this top part and we're going to start attaching the parts of the chassis to it. Now, very quickly and just before everything else, let's start with attaching the back. Before you do so, do you see these 2 holes right here? These big ones, the ones like a pipe. You're going to grab 2 medium length screws. And you're going to put something in them. Like so. Then you're going to attach the back part normally. You put the back part right there and it should look like this. Because you placed the brackets correctly earlier, you're going to see that there's a hole right there for both brackets. You take 2 normal sized screws and you secure that inside. Great job! You've successfully attached the back of your Unibot to your chassis. Now, let's do the sides. you grab this side of your Unibot and make sure that the brackets are going inwards, like this. Now, when I refer to the front and the back of this Unibot, know that this tab right here, or the protruding plastic, should be the side where the front is, and this side is the back. Now, on this piece, this is the back, and this is the front. So that when we attach that to our Unibot, it should look like this. Grab some normal sized screws and go to the top. You should see that, because we attached the brackets correctly earlier, there's holes over here that can fit screws. On top, the holes are right here. Put screws in both of those holes, and then secure both of them with a nut. Up next, let's attach the other side of the chassis. It's not much different. This is the front, and this goes at the back. Nice work! Now, we're going to attach the bottom of the robot. 2 medium-sized screws, or 2 default-sized screws again. And we're going to go under our robot. And you're going to see that this bottom part, you see those ridges? It's supposed to go like this. Like that on your robot. So that when you go to the side to put a screw in, and you did it. Let's attach the last official part of the chassis to your robot. You just slot that right in front. And you should see 2 holes on top like so. Once you finish that, congratulations! You've successfully created the chassis of your Unibot. From here on out, we're going to be adding electronics and other game-specific parts of the NYHA Unibot. Now, I'm going to need you to take your DC motors. There are these 2 yellow things, and you're going to take the 4 long screws out of your Unibot kit. And grab 4 nuts too. I need you to take a good look at your DC motor and notice this thing. Do you see that? You're supposed to make sure that this goes over here. Let's go inside of your Unibot and attach a DC motor. It's supposed to look like this when you attach it. You see how that yellow bit goes into this hole? And this plastic white bit is protruding out of the Unibot? Now, you're going to grab 2 of the long screws and then put them in the holes right here. It should slide right in. You secure both of those with a nut. And then you do the same thing on the other side. You notice the knob on the DC motor. Put that right there. Congratulations! Now you've successfully added the DC motors to your NYHA Unibot. Up next, we're going to be adding the battery pack. Now, we have special screws for this. The smallest screws in the kit. You're going to need these. What you're going to do is you're going to flip it over and you're going to notice these lines in the middle of your Unibot. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure that the jack is facing the back of your Unibot, and you're going to put those two tiny screws in the holes where it meets the line. Then you're going to flip it over while holding the screws in there, and then secure it on the other side with the nut. It's preferred that you make it centered, but in the grand scheme of things, you can just untighten it later on. Congrats! You've successfully added the battery pack to your Unibot. Up next, we're going to be adding the attachments on top of the ball for shoot the ball. You're going to be noticing these gold things on inside of your Unibot kit. What you're going to do is you are going to take 4 medium-sized screws, 4 nuts, and then these 4 blue things. What you're going to do is first, you're going to flip the robot over and you're going to look for these holes. There's a hole right beneath the motor right there. See that? Right there. There's a hole right below the motor on the other side in a similar spot. Hold on. Right there. And then these 2 holes that are pretty much out in the open. What you're going to do okay, I might have accidentally pointed on this one. I meant these right there. I just had to clarify that because both of them are right next to each other and can be easily mistaken. So what you're going to do is you're going to put screws in the holes that I just pointed at. And then you're going to take these gold things and you're going to put that right there. And you do the same thing for the ones behind the DC motors. Afterwards, you're going to get these pieces and you're going to notice that there's a hole there. This hole, oh, it's not focusing. Give me a moment. This hole goes directly on top. And you can tighten that with a nut. Congrats! You've successfully attached the shoot the ball holders, or the holder for the container, on the top of your NYHA Unibot. Up next, we're going to be adding the row board, aka the brains of your robot. let's grab some screws. Let's grab 2 nuts from your kit. And then let's go back over here. Note the orientation. You're supposed to make sure that this black thing and these motors are facing the back of your robot. So it is going to look like so. See that? Then, what you're going to do next is you're going to tighten that with nuts. Next, you're going to grab some medium screws again, like so. And you are going to go on the other side of your robot. Do you see these holes right here? You're going to put a medium screw in each of them. You just slot it here like so, and then tighten on the other side. You do this for both ends. Great job! You've successfully attached your NYHA Robotics to your Unibot. For this next step, we're going beneath the robot. Take out your IR sensors, and then you'll notice that over here, we actually have the ability to open it up. I don't know if you've used that before or noticed that before, but we're allowed to open up the underside of our robot. In doing so, we're going to take our IR sensors and we're going to put it like this. See, that's visible on the camera, like that. The middle hole is supposed to be on the hole going to the bottom, and when we get there, we're going to put a screw over there and then secure it on the other side, like this. There we go. Congratulations! You've successfully attached your IR sensor to your Unibot. Now, for this video, we have about one last sensor to attach. This is the ultrasonic sensor. You'll notice that, well, our robot, it actually has a smiley face when you look at it. See? And the smiley face, it's directly matched with the size of our ultrasonic sensor. All you have to do is go to the inside of your robot and push it out of the front like so. And you successfully attached your ultrasonic sensor to your robot. Now here comes a very fun part. Finally wiring everything together. When you look at the back of your robot, you should see the row board. And when you look at the other side, you should be seeing a mess of wires. Now, there's multiple holes on the underside of a robot that, well, you can really fit anything in, but this is how I recommend you do your wiring. Your IR sensors have a spot for them, like this. They go on the inside of the robot, like so. It also has a spot on the other side, and you put them through there. After putting the IR sensors there, you should be able to very easily pull them out on the other side, like so. Now, for the ultrasonic sensor, you take the wiring with 4 pins on it, you see that? And then put it where you put Well, either sides are actually fine, but I prefer putting it on the left. Once you get it through, you pull it out the other side. And now, let's deal with this. The jack of the battery has a spot for it, right there. And then both motors have a hole underneath them that you can easily put their wires through. Just like so. You do the same thing for the other motor. There's also a hole for it beneath it. And you can go back up there. Congratulations! You've successfully gotten all of the wirings of your Unibot on the top. Now, let's focus on actually attaching them to the row board. You'll notice over here that it actually says distance. Let me focus that. There we go. I hope you can see it on the camera. And because it says distance there, that means that we can take the wire from the distance sensor and then attach it over there. We will be putting the IR sensor's wire on the right to A0. And then the wire of the IR sensor on the left to A1. Like so. And then when you flip it over, we're gonna grab the motors, these wires, and we're gonna take a look at the motor drivers right here. It should say motor A and motor B. The motor on the left, this one in particular, goes to motor B, and you should pin it on the pins on top like this, where red is on the inside and black is on the outside. You take the wire from the other one and put it on motor A, where red is also on the inside, like so. And then finally the battery jack. You can do this or do this now, do this later or do this now, I mean. And this is how you plug it in. It doesn't necessarily already put the robot on an active state of power. You still have to switch this to on when you have the batteries inside of your robot, which I'm going to be teaching you right now. Another very important part. If you accidentally fail this, there is a chance that your batteries might start smoking or your robot might not work. So when you look at your battery, you should see this flat side and then this not flat side. You'll notice that it has a ring on it, a white ring. And when you flip over your robot, you'll see that there's a spring here and a spring here. The side with the spring is the one that takes the negative side, aka the flat side. And the flat side, the one without a spring, is the one that takes the positive side. So when you attach your robot's batteries inside of the robot, it should look like this. Negative is here. And the negative is over here. Well done. Where were we? Let's attach the wheels. The wheels of the robot actually have this part inside of them. And you can notice that this hole fits in with the size of this. So you put it against the white shaft and you look for where they're properly threaded with each other, and then you push, just like that. You do the same thing for the other side. Yep. And congratulations! That is the main parts if you're NYHA Unibot. If you're playing line tracing, if you're playing Trackmania, if you're playing shoot the ball, most of these parts are already the parts that you need. But in another video, I'm going to teach you how to finally complete your robot along with the hit the ball and the claw module. If you don't need that, then congratulations, you've gotten your robot to a fixed form. This is one of the finished products. But stay tuned. On this next video, I'm going to be teaching you how to attach the servo motor to your NYHA Unibot.